Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. And as you can see, I'm joined here, as always, my partner in crime, Sam Schneider, Primetime Sports Talk. And this is another episode of Jungle Talk.
Woohoo!
You know what I forgot to get?
Oh yeah, gotta bust it out.
Oh. That's for the guy who wanted the third blow the last time.
Right.
How to do that.
Right.
So we're covered there. So, guys, great win today. Sam, before we get started, tell them where they can find your stuff, and then we're going to jump into a lot of good stuff.
Sure, you can find me on Twitter at Buy and Sell You. I write for Primetime Sports Talk. Like Mark said, you can find us at Talk Primetime or primetimesportstalk.com.
There we go. All right. So as you can see, I forgot to wear the hat on Thursday. I threw my back out, so that's why it was such a short video. Sam was sick. But you know what? Christmas came early. I wanted to talk about in the last video the Huntley versus Lamar Jackson. I actually wanted Jackson to play because I thought we had him figured out. Huntley, I thought, healthy, and we don't know a lot about him. But as it turned out, COVID stepped in. We didn't have to face either one of them. Christmas came early. We faced a depleted Raven team, which we'll take. Josh Johnson still put up a good effort today.
He did. He played very well.
But hey, that gets the Santa hat. We win today. That gets the Santa hat. So
there you go.
And we activated Mike Daniels. We lost Reader to the COVID, but we activated Mike Daniels. So it was good that we had him on the practice squad. I didn't get a chance to see. I'll check the stats in a little bit, and we'll see if he made any impact. I don't even know if he was in the game, but BJ Hill made a couple big plays, and so he stepped up. That's once again, that's the gift that keeps giving with getting rid of Price for Hill. What a steal. So, send Price over to the Giants and he can enjoy that downfall there. But a lot of great stuff. There was some bad to talk about, and we'll get into it, and then we're going to do the good. Sam, is there anything you want to throw out there before we jump right in on this?
No, let's go for it.
All right. Well, the bad I have is, first of all, one just general comment. How different do you think that first drive would have been if Burrow gets sacked on the first play? And instead, he kind of escapes and it starts that whole drive. And I know that it ended in a field goal. It was one of the choices I did not like. I liked Zach's challenge on the play, getting the extra third down attempt at the goal, but I didn't like the corner toss to Evans. He needs to learn to fight back for the ball and get the PI.
Yeah, that wasn't that was not a well planned out play.
No.
I'm guessing maybe it worked a couple times in practice, and they thought, well, we're going to try this in a game, but it wasn't even close.
Queen didn't even look back at the ball. If Evans had just made an attempt to come back to the ball, he's going to get the flag because Queen never even turned around. But because he never even tried to get back to the ball, there was no PI call. So that's one of those things that, that's a rookie move by Evans. But that was one of the few mistakes of the first half or of the whole game. I mean, let's point out, we never saw Kevin Huber. We scored on every possession we had. The only thing we could have had is a touchdown instead of a field goal off that first drive, which would have given us 35 at half. But other than that, this was just, we'll go through the numbers, but unbelievable thing. The other bad thing I have was the situational football. We didn't get off the field on a 3rd and 8 and a 3rd and goal on the first touchdown by the Ravens. And then later on, we gave up, listen to this, a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 13, and a 3rd and 10 that got the Ravens their second touchdown. That was a complete gift. I mean, how do you give up? You've got double digits on 3 third down conversions. And that was the one stat that jumped out at me at half was the Ravens were 5 of 7 on 3rd down. That's the only reason they were in the game.
Weren't all 3 of those long ones on the same drive?
The same drive. We basically, that's the one that ended with the Andrews touchdown. We basically gifted it. I mean, we had 3 opportunities to end it and couldn't do it. One of them, the 3rd and 13, the guy, their receiver catches the ball like 5 yards short, and we missed like 2 tackles.
Yep. Yeah. And he split our defenders. He just ran right in between them.
But other than that, the only other bad thing I can say, and this is directed at the refs, Queen hits Higgins. They hold up Higgins. Queen comes in and pops him from the side. That should have been a flag.
Yep.
And then they throw Mix into the ground. And that doesn't get a flag. The referee's standing right there, yet we get a taunting call because Chase spins the ball. I mean, it's just, you're going to allow that and call us for taunting. I want the league to start thinking about where their priorities are. Standing up a player who can getting drilled on a blindside hit versus a taunt, and you throw a flag on one and you don't on the other, but you preach player safety. NFL, figure that out. Okay. Let's get it. I was watching the NBA last night, just on a side note. We had 5 great games. And if they called taunting in the NBA, it'd be called on every single play.
Every time down the floor. Every time down the floor.
I mean, when they make a shot, they do stuff. It's like, why don't we get back to that? I just think we've gone overboard on this taunting, but that's all. And the other thing I have that's bad is the dumb taunting call by Chase. You know what? Don't spin the ball in front of John Harbaugh on their sideline.
Right. And then he turned to him too.
Yeah. They exchanged words.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there going, we haven't learned. I mean, it didn't cost us anything today because we still got the first down and we still scored on that drive. But it's just, guys, we really, really need to when we're playing the Chiefs next week, I don't want to see taunting penalties. I don't want to see us give up a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 13, and a 3rd and 10 on the same drive. That's got to get cleaned up. So, but that's the end of all the bad I have, because everything after this is roses. So
I agree with all that, but I'll also throw in there. It's not necessarily bad because there's only so much you can do. But boy, doesn't it really get old getting beat by Mark Andrews all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, he had a great game, made contested catches, runs after the catch, scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much trouble we sometimes have with tight ends. And I'm assuming we're going to get Travis Kelce next week. He's off today because he's on the COVID list.
Right.
But I assume he'll be back by our game.
I assume so too. And I actually skipped that just because I kind of thought the other things were more important, but I had, how do we not know where Andrews is on every play? Then the first drive, what they scored, he was wide open on a pass. And later on, I understand the touchdown was an amazing catch. He made a couple amazing plays, but when he's out on the side and no one's there, I mean, how do we ever lose track of that guy?
Right.
So that was the other thing I had there. But all right, well, let's jump right into the good. And there's so much of it. I mean, think about it. Huber never touched the ball today because we scored on every possession. I mean, that pretty much says it all. And when we were at 41 points on the 7 possessions, broke down to 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals. I'm okay with that ratio.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, so you get to the 41, but that was it. The Bengals were the least penalized team coming into today. I didn't realize that in the NFL. It seems like when we get penalties, they're big ones and they hurt us a lot. So
and you know what? And it's surprising that we didn't get how many. I don't know how many did we have today. Do you have that?
Penalties we had. Stats. Yeah, I'll take a look at the team stats. I'll get
it because it didn't feel like that many, which is impressive because the defense was fired up. And that's a lot of times when you make dumb mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. It's I'll find it before we finish this show.
Yeah, it's no big deal. But the defense came to play, man.
Oh, no.
The whole team came to play, but the defense especially impressed me.
Well, we have criticized our coaches a lot about play calling, not letting Burrow be Burrow and all that. And I've got to just first off give them kudos. They came out. I said in my preview, we need to go pass heavy because this team's so depleted in the secondary, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, 2 of the first 3 plays were passes. We criticized them so many times that on the play calling that I want to give them kudos for just doing what we did. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Did we have 200 or 300-yard receivers today? I mean, I know we had.
I believe
2.
it was just. I believe it was just 2. I don't think Boyd got over the hump.
Right. And what would have if they had if that touchdown had kept. Yeah, we
Right.
had Boyd had 85, but we had 194 for Higgins and 125 for Jamar Chase. That's just unbelievable. And they threw up a graphic. I don't know if everybody caught it because it was up and off the screen pretty quick, but there's only 6 times the Ravens have ever given up over 400 yards passing in their team history. Now, remember, they used to be the Browns and those stats stayed back there. So it's just the Ravens we're talking about. So basically, I think 2000 to now or whatever, but only 6 times has somebody passed over 400 yards. Today was the 6th day. Joe Burrow was 2 of those this year.
Yes, and actually, Joe Burrow now holds the NFL record for most passing yards against one team in a single season.
Yes, and he threw up a 500 burger today on him.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that's if we and just listen to the company that he's with. The other 4 games, okay, outside of the 2 this year for Burrow, the other games were Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Eli Manning. That's pretty good company. I like that list. So everybody on that list has Super Bowls. So Joe, hopefully that he's going to join that group with some trophies. But that was a really interesting graphic because I thought, oh well, what was that? Since the last 5 years or 10 years, I went back and looked at the graphic and it said Baltimore history, and then I realized, okay, so it was the last 20 some odd years. But just
I got another good one. I don't know if we finished the game with this, but at some point in the fourth quarter, we were still averaging over 10 yards per play. I mean, that's absurd. Who does that?
That's
and Mixon didn't get a whole lot of running room, but he did have that sweet 50 yard reception down the right sideline.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, the Bengals, kudos again. This is to the coaching staff and the players. They never took their foot off the gas. That was my biggest concern at halftime because we watched the Packers kind of let the Ravens back in. The Ravens have been let back in to a number of games, and we did not do that today. When we gave up a touchdown, we drove right down the field and answered. Our first drive of the fourth quarter was entirely passes. It was 8 straight passes.
Yep.
And our third quarter drive, we held them. I don't think it was a 3 and out, but we may have gotten 1 first down, but we got the ball back. And then we proceeded to go on a 10.5 play, 10.5 minute, 19 play drive. Now it only ended in 3 points, but literally the defense was out there. We got the ball and we ate up the whole third quarter. That was huge. That was absolutely huge.
And Baltimore was standing around hands on hips. They were gassed, man.
Oh.
They were gassed. They couldn't, and at that point, once the snowball gets rolling, then it just gets harder and harder and harder to get a stop. I'm surprised we only got 3 points out of it, but still, just the amount of time that we burned and how demoralizing that can be to a defense is excellent.
Yeah, I think they got 1 first down, so they held the ball for like 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes, and then we proceeded to go on that 10.5. It was 10 minutes, 29 seconds, and we were actually pretty even at halftime. When I look at the halftime stats, it was like 14 and change to 15 and change. Okay, at the end of the game, 37-22. Don't think that 10.5 minutes didn't because like I said, you keep them out there. They're gassed in the fourth quarter. They're and it's demoralizing. I mean, it's just even though it only and they're like, let us off the field. We're already getting our butts kicked. Right. And this is where I don't always agree with not taking the 3 points. I think San Diego. There we go. I apologize. The Chargers today had 2 opportunities where they went for it. Once again, in the red zone, I know that's their style. They do it all the time, but they fell back late in the game and they were chasing 2 scores instead of 1, and it cost the Chargers today. So I keep saying how deflating it is for a team when they drive downfield, they hold the ball a long time and it leads to no points. I know you don't want to always settle for field goals, but sometimes take the 3.
Yeah, and I'm not questioning the decision to kick the field goal after that long drive. I'm merely saying I wish we could have punched it in. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I wouldn't have gone for it. I would have taken the three.
Right.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, you get back to 20 points. And like I said, it's about demoralizing them.
Yep.
It's a psychological thing, and you don't lose any of your mojo or momentum. So
Right.
other thing, great. Oh, by the way, I like the fourth down call when we did go for it at fourth and goal from the one. I love
Yep.
the pure push that the line got. I mean,
Yep.
Mixon just got carried with this wave of humanity into the end zone.
Right.
So those are the times you go for it. And we had already put 2 scores up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So great 2-minute offense. I mean, that was Joe Burrow's performance today in the first half, the 299 yards. That is the biggest first half passing in the NFL this season. No other quarterback has done more in the first half of a game than what you saw Joe Burrow do today.
And it's tied with, I think, 2 others for the most in history.
Yeah. So, but that was
nobody's ever hit 300 in the first half.
Yeah.
And then, so he tied 2 other people. I can't remember who they were.
Yeah. And then obviously Hendrickson, continues his sack streak, and he knocked the ball out on the 3rd and 24 where Josh Johnson kind of scoops it up and tries to complete, but it looked like he was going to run for it. But so he follows up his sack which was a solo sack with the stripping the ball. So Hendrickson did his thing. We didn't have a lot of defensive numbers from our defensive line today, but they pressured all game.
Yeah.
So at no point did Johnson feel all cozy and fuzzy back there. So
yeah, and I love the way the entire secondary played today. You didn't hear a whole lot of names because they were doing well back there.
Right.
Also because Baltimore was using the middle of the field a lot and using Andrews and stuff like that. But the secondary did great, and then the icing on the cake was just Von Bell jumping that smuggler route and taking that ball down the field.
Yeah. Well, he had a chance on one of the 2 on that drive where we gave up the 3 third down conversions. There was a second down play where he dropped a pick. We had a chance to get out the field.
And it was almost an identical play to the one he got later.
Yeah. So this one,
he atoned for it.
Yeah, he had one hit him right in the breadbasket that he didn't hold on to.
Yeah.
So it was there. And it could have been worse. Boyd holds on to that touchdown in the end zone. That was a great effort. Boyd holds on to that. We're going to have 300-yard receivers. There's just, there was more points out there that we left out there, but just what an enjoyable game. I said in my preview, the Bengals owed this to the hometown crowd after making them sit through the Niner game and the Charger game. They owed this to this crowd, and they delivered.
Yeah. And speaking of the crowd, the shots of the stadium were awesome. That place was rocking today, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't at the game or anything, but they kept doing the wide out shot, and it didn't look like there was an empty seat in the house, and they were all being really loud. And usually you see a whole bunch of Baltimore, a whole bunch of Pittsburgh fans there, and there was not much purple in that crowd at all.
Yeah, I don't think
mostly because they always showed the crowd when the Bengals fans were standing up, so the Ravens fans were sitting down somewhere.
Right. So. But no, it was like I said, there was just a lot to be happy about. And I really love the ball distribution. Do you know that coming into this game, we've had leading receivers has been Jamar Chase for 5 games, T. Higgins for 5 games, and Tyler Boyd for 4 games. That's what we want to see. This is why we have a chance to have. I don't know what the season numbers are. Maybe somebody can look it up and put it in the comments, but I know we have 2,000-yard receivers already. I don't know how close Boyd is to getting. I don't know if anybody's ever had 3,000-yard receivers.
They have. The last time would be Arizona when Kurt Warner was the quarterback, and they had Larry Fitzgerald, Steve Breston, and Anquan Bolden.
Okay. So
but keep in mind, we're adding an extra game now, so we're not going to be the only team that's able to do it,
Right. But still, that would be a huge accomplishment. In terms of, and once again, you're joining Kurt Warner on a team he took to the Super Bowl that should have won the Super Bowl. I mean, you take away that James Harrison thing right before half, and Arizona wins that game instead of Santonio Holmes making the score late. So I don't
It's
mind
just,
whenever we're joining company. I like to be on lists with Tom Brady, Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner. Those are the lists you want to be on. So
well, he's gonna keep joining that company over and over again, man, because he is so good. He is
right.
so special. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And one last comment on the defense. After Baltimore's first drive in the first half, because we really set the tone in the first half, we did to the Ravens today what we did to the Steelers, which was really take the wind out of their sails. I always say start fast, step on them, their throat. We took it to them right early. The defense, after that first drive, forced 2 3-and-outs on the next 2 drives. That enabled us to go up 10-7. That enabled us to get to 17-7, and we keep the train rolling. And that's where it really started showing up. Eli Apple made a couple big tackles today, didn't miss tackles. Like I said, we didn't talk about a lot of the DBs because, they were doing their job.
Yeah. If you're not hearing their names in the secondary, that's a good thing.
Right. So, but that's a lot of what I have. I mean, we could sit here all day, but I was really happy with everything I saw. This is a team win. And I got to, like I said, give kudos to the coaches for not trying to just continually run the ball, but let Joe be Joe. And right. They kind of did that today, and the players for executing. And outside of the Jamar Chase ball spin, I didn't think there was any. We had a offside, we had a motion penalty that set us back. We had a Jonah Williams holding penalty that I think we overcame. Well, we overcame them on all of them because we didn't punt
because we were doing whatever we wanted, basically.
But the penalties, but the outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot of. The team was disciplined. They were focused. They were disciplined. It's exactly what we're going to need next week against Kansas City. So
I was just about to say, I hope we can use this win as a springboard against Kansas City, and it's at KC. So
no, it's home. We're home at Cleveland. Home for KC at Cleveland.
Oh, we're at Cleveland,
right?
Okay. Okay, well, that's a good thing. So hopefully we can use this as a springboard, take some stuff that we learned today, take the things that we did well, take the plays that worked really well, and use them again next week.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We need to win one more game, or we're going to need a couple losses on the other side. You and I were kind of looking at everything. I don't know where the tiebreakers go in terms of seeding for the thing, but we have to get one more win. Or we're going to need a Cleveland loss and a Baltimore loss. Now, Baltimore, I think, plays Pittsburgh. What do they play? I don't know, but they both have.
We just looked at this.
I know we did, and I forgot who it is. But the bottom line is if we don't beat Kansas City, we've got to beat the Browns in week 18. It's that simple. Unless the Browns lose next week for us. So we shall see. But just a great win. Guys, I couldn't be happier. Like I said, Christmas. We did what we needed to do. We made the statement we needed to make today. Because this was a game where if we barely won, it's like, guys, they were missing so many people. How could we barely win? We need to do what we did, which was crush them.
Right. And Baltimore's next game is against the Rams.
That's it. The Rams. That's it. So Baltimore could lose to the Rams. I think the Browns play the Steelers next week. So
I believe
no love there. So we could actually get some help from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but we need to seal it by winning one more.
Yeah, it would be nice to take Kansas City. If they win today, is going to wrap up the West. I don't know where they're sitting in terms of the top seat. If they're going to need one more win. I mean, if it's a must win for them to get, I don't know who's pressing them. I haven't looked at it.
Well, right now, I believe Green Bay is the top seed.
Well, that's in the NFC. In the AFC, it's Kansas City.
Oh, right.
I think with Buffalo.
I'm full of brain parts today.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, with Buffalo beating the New England, we're all sitting at 9 and 6.
Right. So Chiefs are playing Steelers today. They're 10-4, and they are the first seed. Titans are right behind at 10-5 as the 2 seed, and the Cincinnati Bengals are at 9-6 and the 3 seed.
Okay, so we jumped over New England because of conference.
Well, because the Bills beat New England, so the Bills moved into the 4th seed.
Right. No. But the Bills moved in, but we have a better conference record than the Bills. That's why we're ahead of them. The Bills are 6-5 in AFC, and we are 7-3, I think.
That's correct, I believe.
So that's why we're 3. The seeding here is very important because if the Chargers make the postseason, that's the team we want coming to Cincinnati. We want a redo of that Charger game because this team will have the chip on their shoulder. They will be focused. What we don't want is to play like Indianapolis. That's a kind of team that because they're a very balanced team. They can run, they can pass, they have a good defense. I mean, they're going to give us our toughest run. We want to send that team to Buffalo or something like that,
right.
you know, in terms of the wild cards that are going to be there. So that's why this is important. So
we might as well start rooting for the Chargers because frankly, right now, they don't look like a playoff team.
Well, the record wise, they're still in one of the playoff spots, I think. So
no, they're not.
Oh, they fell out completely. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So who's in now?
Yeah, because they lost to Houston.
Unbelievable. Killed 2. The only loss on 2 parlays today was that
Chargers are sitting at 9th behind the Ravens at 8th. And you know the top 7 get in, and Steelers are at 7th.
That's 7th until they lose.
That's right.
So I wonder if the Ravens go back in as the other one, but we'll see. All of this, I just want to point this out. It doesn't matter where we are now. What matters is where we are at week 18. So, when teams are in and teams are out, it's like we still control our own destiny. That's all we can ask for. Win one of the next 2, we win the North.
Right.
That's simple.
Yep.
It literally is that simple. I'd like it to be next week, but the Chiefs have Tennessee pressing. So the Chiefs are going to want that game too. I'm questioning. I think they have till Monday to decide. There's a chance we could get flexed into the night game next week. Cincinnati, Kansas City.
I think it has to be. I think the rule is it has to be 11 games or 11 days ahead of time.
Is it? Okay, so we can't get flexed in. The NFL blew it.
I looked it up. I looked it up recently, and I could be wrong. Maybe it's only 10 days, but I know it's more than a week.
I just don't know if with COVID and stuff and the rescheduling, if they get to it. I know networks can protect stuff, but this seemed like a natural fit for the nighttime.
Right.
I mean, you got an AF possible, playoff preview game. I mean, who knows if they're both division winners? This could be a AFC championship preview. You've got it sitting right there for you in week 17 and you don't use it. So, but it's okay. I don't mind.
We got to watch Cleveland and Pittsburgh in primetime next week. I can't remember if it's Sunday or Monday, but
that's probably the Sunday night game. I don't think that might be the Monday. I don't know. I didn't look at the schedule, so I don't want to take any time to look. So, but no, guys, you could take a look at the stats. It's utter domination in terms of, like I said, Kevin Huber didn't do anything but kick some punts and warm up. There's not a lot of games where you don't get held on downs, you don't turn the ball over, and you score on every possession, and the majority of them being touchdowns.
Right.
That's like I said, that's as good as it gets. So great win. So if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. That's all we ask. And Sam, why don't you remind them again where they can find all your stuff?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Buy and Sell You, at Talk Primetime. You can find Mark at LA Bengals Fan on almost every major platform. And while you're subscribing, hit that little notification bell and then drop some comments down there and let us know what you thought.
Absolutely. Getting a lot of conversations with a lot of people watching the videos. It's great. We're really enjoying it. So we'll be back as always with the preview on Thursday of the upcoming game against Kansas City. Hopefully they're coming off a win. Love catching teams off a win, not a loss, especially an Andy Reid coach team. So
especially a win against Pittsburgh
and a win against Pittsburgh. So we'll be back with that. And with that, I'm going to say Merry Christmas, everybody, and hoo-day!
Hoo-day!
See you on Thursday.